right. Welcome, everybody, to the Belvedere City Council Committee of the Whole of June 12th, 2023. The clerk will help me with the roll call, please.
Albertini?
Here.
Brereton?
Here.
Flurry?
Here.
Frank?
Here.
Freeman? Here. McGee?
Here.
Mulhall? Here. Porter?
Here.
Snow?
Here.
9 present.
Okay, thank you. We do not have anybody registered for public comment here this evening. Item 1, no public forum. Item 1, under reports of officers, boards, and special committees. Building, planning, zoning, unfinished business, we have none. Building, planning, zoning, new business. Item A, building department update. Mr. Countryman, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. For the month of May, the department issued 149 permits for a value of construction just under $4 million. 15 of those were commercial. 134 were residential. We have 15 closed cases for property maintenance and 9 open. Some projects of note are Kunis is putting an addition on. Twin Towers is remodeling the old Ace Hardware. We have Murphy's Oil with a new gas station. Taco Bell, Fuel Center out on Genoa Road. General Mills is moving along. Dairy Queen, the RVC Tech Center, Gary's Flooring on the Pearl Place Apartments, and I'm open for any questions.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Countryman? All right, it has been busy.
It's been a good year.
It
Thank you.
has. Certainly has. Okay. Thank you, Kip. Item B, planning zoning department update. Gina,
Thank you, Mayor.
good evening.
Hi. As you know, the final plat for Crosslink for Project Yukon went through, as well as the video gaming at the dispensary. The only public hearing I have tomorrow is for the car wash. That's proposed to go next to the brand new Taco Bell in front of Walmart. So that leaves just, I think, 2 outlots left in that subdivision to be developed on. Site plans basically are the same as the projects that Kip mentioned. Zoning letters are holding pretty steady. Historic Preservation is trying to get some fundraisers going to help with their maintenance grant. They did review 5 grant applications, awarded 1 of them. But since COVID took quite a hit to their fundraisers and depleted quite their reserves, they're being fiscally responsible in awarding grant funds until they get those reserves built back up in their fundraising. Working on Heritage Day stuff. It's 2 weeks away. I have not heard from any aldermen that want to ride the float, so if you plan on participating on behalf of the city, please let me know. And working on comp plan, getting them documents so they can start their background research, and giving them some points to start off with. There will be a joint City Council Plan Commission meeting probably on July 24th. It'd be more like a public comment agenda item that Plan Commission will be invited to, so you can meet the consultants and they can kind of give you an idea of what they expect from the council as far as public meetings, and just keep you in the loop so that you don't feel like you're left out of the project, because this is obviously a big deal for the city and we want everyone involved. Otherwise, non-typical work stuff was I was a panelist at the ACE conference, and still working with the facade grants. The applications are due Friday or Monday, so there's been a steady stream of last-minute phone calls and questions while people are getting their applications ready.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Delrose? Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you, Mayor. So Gina, the farmland that is adjacent to Bellstone and in between Morium Drive and Stone Quarry there didn't get planted this year. because that's where Project Yukon is slated to go.
Correct.
So, has that been sold to them? Where are we at with Project Yukon?
I am hesitant to say too much because I know it will come up as a council item, I believe, in the future, but the property currently is still owned by Solstrom and Kemp. Project Yukon is in constant communication with them. It was not planted because they are expecting the Project Yukon development to occur. Right now, there's just a lot of paperwork and things happening behind the scenes. And if more is said, I'll let the mayor or Darrell say it.
Yeah, I think I always have been optimistic that we would be able to have Project Yukon go forward. I still believe so. You'll probably have something here next week. But I think that's the reason why they did not plant, is because we're going to move forward with that. I anticipate you'll be seeing something here soon. Okay? Mhm. Any other questions for Gina? Alderwoman Frank?
Thank you, Mayor. Gina, I wanted to know about the car wash on 76. Are they going to move forward with that?
He is telling us that he still plans on moving forward.
Okay. So I have another question too. Right next to Ultimate Car Wash, there's that property that somebody wanted to build on, and now I see it's for sale, so that's over and done with.
No, that has been sold, that's been for sale for a while. He ran into some issues with his architect and stuff, so he did put it for sale while he tries to figure things out. He came in for his special use extension last year while it was on the market. And I believe at this point it is just a matter of what happens first. Does he sell it, or does he gets an architect that he can work with? His special use is set to expire in a couple months again, so we'll be getting an update at that point from him.
Go ahead.
I just thought of another question. What is happening with the old Happy Walk? Is he trying to rent that out, like you said a month ago?
I have not spoke with him in several months, so as far as I know, nothing has changed, but I have not personally spoke with him.
That's it. Thank you.
I can tell you, I have spoke with him, Alderwoman Frank, and it's my understanding, at one time, his intention was, at least he had conveyed that to me, that he wanted to put a barbecue place there. And I believe now, perhaps that building, he may sell that. So I think he's looking for somebody that wants to locate a business in there. And it's a very nice building. It's a great looking building. He's got, I don't know if he has all the inside finished. I think he ran into supply issues here, like everybody, but I do believe that I think he had indicated to me anyhow that he was going to go ahead and market that property. So we'll see. Alderman Albertini?
Thank you, Mayor. I have one question. The Subway over by Walmart, did they close just to close, or are they moving somewhere? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay, I just thought you might. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate it. We do have item C, and I know Gina had received a letter. It's in your packet dated 5/10 regarding item C, 2C. So this is for a letter from Robert Cantrell wanting to continue to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission here in the city. So with that, you have a memo from me, a reappointment of Robert Cantrell. That motion would be a motion to consent to and approve the appointment of Mr. Robert Cantrell to the Belvedere Planning and Zoning Commission for a 5-year term ending in May 2028. Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderman Porter. Thank you. Any questions, any comments? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passed, thank you. Item 3, Public Works unfinished business, we have none. Item 4, Public Works new business, Director Anderson, Public Works update. Brent?
Thank you, Your Honor. Irene Road reconstruction project, the closure for Irene Road went into effect today. Hopefully the work will be completed around 1st of September. There's 2 water main extensions that need to go across the existing roadway that will be done first, will be done this week, and then the road reconstruction realignment portion will start in earnest next week. Detour routes are posted on the signs there. Ipson Road, Appleton Road will be the detour routes for Irene Road. But that's good news as that project gets underway. That's the only update I have at this time.
Okay, if anybody had any questions for Director Anderson, Alderman Snow.
Curiosity, the subdivision north of, is it Deer Hills? Whatever happened with the bridge and the logistics there as far as who's responsible for the bridge? Did the city wind up on the hook, or is the township, or is it still in negotiations per se?
Not negotiations per se. It's actually still township. We still got to work out the details with IDOT on paperwork and so forth. But it looks like since we didn't carry through with the annexation of that portion, that wasn't specifically jurisdictionally transferred to the city, as was Beaver Valley Road.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you again, Mayor. So are we still, I think at one time we were looking at putting a light there on Newburgh Road. Was it at Irene for the truck traffic that we're going to be seeing, or is that, are we not doing that anymore?
Well, it's anticipated to be done at a future date. But yeah, the expectation is eventually that will be a signalized intersection. There will be some widening requirements and some other work done on both roadways. And as of right now, that portion of Irene is township.
Okay, I know that with General Mills out there and with some of the other potential development that we have, I think that truck traffic was anticipated. At least the majority of it is going to go out to bypass 20 off Irene Road, which is now, as Brent had indicated, is going to be closed. Well, actually starting today. And so with that in mind, going to be a lot of truck traffic out there, but hopefully the preponderance of that gets directed out at Irene Road to 20, so bypass 20, and that will have improvements. So.
Correct, and then as you may recall, as part of the annexation agreement with the General Mills project, some of the cost of future intersection improvements at Newburgh and Irene were included in that agreement.
Mm-hmm. All right, anything else for Mr. Anderson before we move on? All right, item B, Street Department, Mr. Anderson, electronic diagnostic scan tool replacement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Memo in your packet, the Street Department mechanics currently use our electronic diagnostic scan tool, which is outdated. It's about 10 years old and needs to be replaced. We received 3 proposals for a new unit. I would recommend approval of the proposal from Snap-on Tools in the amount of $6,774 for the new electronic diagnostic scan tool for the Street Department mechanics. The tool will be paid for from line item 015-310-6020.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion to that effect, please? Anybody? Motion by Alderman McGee, and a second. Second by Alderman Porter. As you will see on the list in front of you, that is the low bid. If there's any questions, Alderman Snow?
So again, with the low bid, the third one coming in is almost double the first one. Are there differences in what they were selling?
I can tell you that the current unit that we use is a Snap-on, and the bid unit for Snap-on will do what we need it to be done. And if you look on the attachment, there's the ProLink Edge, that's the unit itself, and then there's modules that you can purchase And those 3 modules are the ones that we utilize for that piece of equipment.
Alderwoman, Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. So Brent, what do we use this for? What do we scan with this?
All your newer vehicles, anything that has electronics, where you have your error codes, message codes, computer stuff, and it's almost all, these days, it's standard operating procedure. You just plug the thing in, and it's a diagnostic tool. So it's really important these days.
All right, any other questions regarding the motion and second on the floor? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the approval to purchase, the approval of the proposal from Snap-on Tools in the amount of $6,774 for a new electronic diagnostic scan tool for the street department mechanics to be paid from line item 01-5-310-6020. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion passed, thank you. And Mr. Anderson, Street Department roller replacement?
Memo in your packet, our current budget includes $50,000 in the capital line item for the purchase of a roller to replace our 1991 Ingersoll Rand roller that we purchased used in 2004. We received pricing on a new 22 case roller at $44,000, net cost of $41,500, including the trade-in. That's for a new roller of the existing same size and specifications as the one we currently have. Alta Equipment Company provided both a new and a used price for I guess, one step up roller as far as a little larger width on the drums, on the roller width, as well as the weight of the machine. The net cost of the used piece of equipment is $43,185. I would recommend purchasing the used 2018 Volvo DD35B from Alta Equipment in the amount of $43,185. The roller will be paid for from capital line item number 415-752-8200.
Okay,
And that will include the trade-in of our current roller.
okay. Thank you. Could I get a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderman Albertini. Any questions, further questions, comments? Alderman Fleury?
And this one that we're purchasing, is that the one we're currently renting?
Correct.
And then, so how many hours, so instead of 2018, so like how many hours, or how do you, I guess, figure out the use of that? And what's the longevity of it?
Well, as an example, our existing one's a 1991 unit that we purchased used then, and we're still using it now. The new one, I think, has 360 hours, I believe. And we are getting a 2-year, 369 hours is what's currently on it, and it comes with a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty after our purchase. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions regarding the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor recommend the purchasing of the used 2018 Volvo from Alta Equipment in the amount of $43,185 to be paid from capital line item 41-5-752-8200. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. And item D, Mr. Anderson, the purchase of a 2022 one-ton dump truck. It's in the packets this evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our current budget includes $110,000 for the street department for a new one-ton dump truck to replace our 1991 GMC one-ton dump truck. We've got a price from Kunis in the amount of $107,825 for a new 2022 Ram 3500, and there's a picture attached to the memo of the unit itself, as well as, excuse me, I guess there is no picture. It's got the specs on it, but not the picture, with the plow and the other attachments in the dump box. We've reached out, that's the only existing pre-built one, if you will, that we could find available at this point in time. In talking with Kunis and the other dealerships, Order time on a new vehicle, some of them aren't even taking orders right now, some are taking orders, accepting orders. Other ones are out, could be 18 to 24 months on delivery. It's really therefore, I would recommend the purchase of the 2022 Ram 3500 one-ton dump truck with snowplow from Kunis of Elkhorn for a total cost of $107,825.
Okay. Could I have a motion to that effect? Thank you. Alderwoman Mulhall, thank you. And could I get a second? Second by Alderwoman Freeman. Any questions, follow-up questions on that? Alderman Porter?
Thank you, Mayor. Brent, just wondering, in light of the fact that we're paying this $1.6 million for the ambulance service, is this something we really need this year, or is it something we can put off and just limp the old one along for another year just to see how things are going, or no?
Well, I guess that's always an option, but what we're limping along is a 1991, so it's 32 years old. It's pretty tired and it's needs to be replaced.
Okay. Alderman Albertini?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a quick question. We always seem to be getting from Kunis. Obviously, you're saying because they're the only people available with these vehicles we're looking for. Do we look outside of the immediate area or just in the immediate area for trucks when we need them?
Typically, what we used to do is we, of course, talk to all the local vendors here in town, and then we would reach out regionally after that. And then also we had opportunities to us, which was probably the most cost-effective for the long time, was the state bid, go through the state bid system on the trucks. But because of the current market conditions that there is no state bid currently for replacement vehicles that we can be a party of. So in this case, like I said, this is the only one that we found. And when you talk Kunis is not only local, but they are regional. I mean, they're in this area regionally. They're probably one of the largest dealers there are. So, but yes, we look far and wide to find the best deal possible. As well, for people that have been on the council, we've gone to auctions we've gone to Oklahoma, we've gone to Texas, we've gone to Michigan looking for vehicles. So.
All right, thank you, Brent. I'm just curious.
Okay. Thank you, Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two questions for Director Anderson. So my first one is, this is a 2022, so is this used or is this brand new?
It's new.
Thank you. And then my other question is, since we can't order one and we're buying this right off the lot, is this going to need upgrades or modifications after we purchase it?
I think it comes with everything that we were looking for to purchase with the new one, so I think we should be good. There may be some lights that we have to add to it, but that would probably be about it.
Okay, thank you. They're not easy to find necessarily, and regarding, this is, it's replacing a 1991 GMC. They don't last forever, and when we can find them, and we did budget for this is a capital fund item that's been budgeted, so we did plan on it. We were just really fortunate to find one, and fortunate to find one here, where we have somebody who does business in City of Belvedere. We've had in the past discussion about, buying local, and I think when we can buy local, it supports our own local economy as well as our businesses. I think that's a good idea when we can do that. And not that, if they're not the cheapest or if they're not very competitive, but when we can, I would like to see us continue to buy local, and it's competitive. So I think we try and do that. I think in the past, the council's always thought that to be a good idea when we can. So we have a motion on the floor then, and a second that would recommend the purchase of the 2022 Ram 3500 one-ton dump truck with the snowplow from Kunis for a total cost of $107,825. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's any opposed? Okay, motion passed, thank you. And Mr. Anderson, item E. Crusader Clinic retaining wall regarding Logan Avenue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, the section of Logan Avenue adjacent to Crusader Clinic was raised to meet ADA requirements, and the additional height now requires us for the installation of approximately 150 feet of landscape retaining wall to eliminate the excessive slope on the backside of the sidewalk to the existing parking lot in Crusader Clinic. There's a picture attached to my memo that shows what the current offset is. The construction of this landscape wall was not included in the Logan Avenue contract. Therefore, we received the following proposals, with all those incorporated from Belvedere being the lowest at $15,600. I would recommend approval of the proposal from all those in the amount of $15,600 for the construction of 150 feet of landscape wall adjacent to Crusader Clinic. This work will be paid for from line item 41-5-110-8021.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anderson. Motion by Alderman Porter, correct? Thank you. Do we have a second? Second by Alderman McGee. Thank you. All right, any questions regarding that? Alderman Albertine?
Thank you, Mayor. This retaining wall we're putting in, what's the longevity of it being there? Due to the snow, the salt, the flooding, or any,
Yeah.
anything taking care of it?
Right. No, it's being the concrete mason block wall construction. I would expect it to have the same lifetime as what the sidewalks and the rest of the construction work we did on Logan Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
And because it's not really a weight-bearing, it's not a weight-bearing issue where it's a tall wall, you wouldn't have that concern as well. So it's just a simple landscape wall. Basically, this was our cheapest alternative as opposed to having to do railings, foundations, and so forth for a railing system. This landscape wall was our cheapest alternative to take care of the issue.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Snow?
So, at this point, this is actually gonna be built on their right-of-way? Or is it still part of the city? Because I thought the sidewalk was right at the edge of the,
That's correct. It's actually on their property.
and they're okay with it, obviously?
Yes, we worked through Crusader with everything.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we have recommended approval, motion to recommend the approval of the proposal from the low bidder, Aldos Inc., in the amount of $15,600 for the construction of 150 feet of landscape wall adjacent to the Crusader Clinic. The work will be paid for from line item 41-5-110-8021. If there are no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. If there's any opposed, okay. Motion passed, thank you. And item F, Mr. Anderson.
Next up, the memo in your packet is for TRC's annual services agreement for landfill number 2. The proposal for 2023 includes statistical evaluation of monitoring well data, data analysis, groundwater assessment, preparation of the corrective action evaluation report, our annual air emission report, as well as operation and maintenance of the leachate landfill gas recovery system. We have $50,000 budgeted for the work this year. Our estimated cost share is about $36,000, some odd $100. Based on their proposal, I would recommend approval of the 2023 landfill number 2 annual service agreement with TRC, and this work will be paid for from line item number 015-335-7900.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Fleury and second by Alderwoman Frank. Thank you. Any questions regarding that motion on the floor? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. If there's any opposed, motion passed, thank you. And item G, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Branch grinding. We have completed our branch collection from the storm damage, and the pile needs to be reduced. We got a pretty good pile going. We have received 2 bids for the grinding and removing of the pile, the low one being from Landscape Material and Firewood Sales in the amount of $13,875. I would recommend approval of their bid. This work will be paid for from line item 015-310-6826 and line item 015-340-6850. And I may add that this will be turned in through our, I think, the state reimbursement, if you will, for our tornado storm expenses, this will be included in that.
That is correct. Through IEMA, they'll issue us, through the disaster declaration, we'll receive those funds back. So, could I have a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Snow, and second by Alderman Albertini. Any other questions regarding that? Mr. Anderson, we've still got, I know, some outstanding brush to be picked up. Will that be part of this, or?
If there's anything out there, yes, it should be collected before they would be degrinded.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, any other questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion on the floor, please say aye. Aye. If there's any opposed, motion passed. Thank you. And item H.
Next up is the annual resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code. I would recommend approval of the resolution in the amount of $1,300,000 for our annual MFT maintenance expenses.
Okay. I get a motion on the floor to that effect. Motion by Alderman Porter, second by Alderman Snow. Any questions regarding that? I think it's self-explanatory, but if there's any questions?
Just a FYI update for the council, the bid opening for our MFT overlay work and our thermoplastic pavement striping portion will be on July 5th. So I'll be coming to the following committee meeting in July for those bid results, and our portion of the remaining paint striping that's done through our collaboration with Rockford and Cherry Valley is currently underway.
Okay. Thank you. Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you again, Mayor. So, with the high cost of gas this year, has our state portion of the MFT increased?
I believe they were projecting a small increase, but with the alternative vehicles and so forth, it's probably not as large as we would like to see it. But we are getting the additional, I think we're still getting a high growth or a supplement as well as what we've gotten in the past too. So I think it's a small increase.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor, please say aye. Aye. Is any opposed? Okay, motion passed, thank you. And the item I, wastewater treatment plant, number 1 pump repair. Mr. Anderson?
Yes, memo in your packet. We have our RAS number 1 pump repair. We have 3 RAS pumps, and currently one of the 3 is in operation. We've got a proposal from Hydrostall North America for the repair of RAS pump number 1. The cost is $16,063.71. Therefore, I would recommend approval of that proposal from Hydrostall North America in the amount of $16,063.71 for the rebuild of RAS pump number 1. This work will be paid for from the plant depreciation fund.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion to that effect, please? Get on the floor here. Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall, second by Alderman McGee. Thank you. Any questions regarding that motion on the floor? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. And last but not least, item J, purchase of the 2022 crew truck. Mr. Anderson?
Again, similar situation as what we discussed earlier with the 1-ton dump truck with the street department. Our current budget includes $100,000 in the capital fund on the water side to purchase a new crew truck to replace our 2000 Chevy. And Kunis has an existing vehicle. It's a new 2022 F-450, and I believe there is a picture of this unit included in the packet at the cost of $96,205. And I would recommend the purchase of the 2022 Ford F-450 from Kunis Ford of Delavan for a total cost of $96,205.
Okay, thank you. I get a motion to that effect, please. Motion by Alderman Fleury and second by Alderman Albertini. Any questions regarding that motion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the floor, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's any opposed? Okay, motion passed, thank you. Thank you, Director Anderson. Item 5, moving along here under other, we have item A, the appointment of Sandra Gramkowski as Alderwoman in Ward 3. I will read this. A memo from me dated June 1st to the council as required by section 3.1-10-50 of the Illinois Municipal Code, 65 ILCS 5-3.1-10-50. I offer the appointment of Sandra Gramkowski to fill the unexpired term of Ward 3 created by the recent resignation of Alderwoman Prather, Cheryl Prather. I am attaching, which you have in front of you, Ms. Gramkowski's letter of interest, which demonstrates her qualifications for the office. I respectfully request that the council consent to her appointment. And with that being said, the recommended motion would be a motion to consent to the appointment of Sandra Gramkowski as Alderwoman Ward 3 to fulfill the remaining term of Alderwoman Cheryl Prather. And if I could get a motion to that effect. Motion by Alderwoman Frank and a second. Second by Alderman McGee. Any discussion? Any comments? Alderman Snow?
So I didn't notice or wasn't made aware of that this position was advertised or anything, so I don't know where Sandra comes from in the scoop of things. I'm not familiar with her. And did we consult with the Republican chairman to see about her appointment as far as getting a recommendation from the Republican committee, being it was a Republican who ran and won? And that being said, I would, with that in light, I would like to give us more time to think about this and would make a motion to table.
Well, I received this letter from Ms. Gramkowski. I think when you read the letter, and I'll read the letter publicly so that those that are here can also hear it. You have it in front of your desk as well. Dear Mayor Morris, letter of intent, 3rd Ward Aldermanic vacancy. Dear Mayor Morris, I reside in the city of Belvedere's 3rd Ward. It is my understanding one of the 2 alderpersons has resigned from their position, and I would like to express my interest in serving the Belvedere community. My husband and I built a home in Belvedere in 2004 after living in the cities of St. Charles, DeKalb, and Elgin, Illinois. We built our home intending to live in this community well into our retirement years. My husband has been in the railroad industry for 46 years, and I am employed as a project manager, executive administrator for a C-suite level medical executive recruiting firm. My previous local government experience includes reporting directly to the mayor, city manager, and assistant city manager of the city of Elgin and the city of DeKalb. I am aware of how city government works and the commitment required to serve in this type of a position. While working for the city of Elgin, I was a member of the Neighborhood Services Committee. The Neighborhood Services Committee consisted of the city's department leaders, the fire chief, police chief, public works director, etc. We met bi-monthly to review issues within the city, including infrastructure improvements, neighborhood improvements, and discussed and implemented requests from residents. I have served as a volunteer for the Bergman Center, AKA Bravehearts, as a riding instructor for the handicapped children, served as a mounted patrol officer for the Kane County Mounted Rangers, and served as a company committee member of the United Way of Rockford. During my son's hockey years, I managed several of the hockey teams and served as a board member for various horse riding clubs. My husband and I have been married for 43 years and have 2 grandchildren. I am happy to say that I have taken my grandchildren to the splash pad as well as outdoor skating rink two very important assets for the city. I care deeply about the community in which I live and believe Belvedere has great promise for the future. My pledge to you, the local government leaders, and the residents of Ward 3 is, if selected, I will serve in an ethical, honest, and transparent manner. I will ask tough questions and will respectfully accept decisions made. Thank you and the members of the City Council for considering my request to serve the citizens of Belvedere. Respectfully submitted, May 31st, 2023, Sandra Gramkowski. So, I received this letter. I think the letter speaks for itself. I think Ms. Gramkowski offers a wide array of experience, and I don't see any benefit myself to wait. I think that speaks for itself. Now, as far as a recommendation from the Republican Club, actually, and the city attorney may want to comment, because I did ask him this question regarding the appointment process. And regarding that process, that's mine to make a recommendation to the council. And based upon the letter and the qualifications of that individual. And there you have it. So, did I get anything wrong?
Wrong, no. The process is fairly straightforward. Once the vacancy is created, which was by Alderman Prather's resignation, the mayor is required to make an appointment within 60 days. Once that appointment is made, it goes to the city council for advice and consent. The city council is bound by statute to make a decision on that within 30 days of the appointment, which of course is formally next week at council, but everything starts in committee here. If you don't, it's deemed basically denied, and the mayor then appoints a second person. So, the other problem we have at this body is we frequently confuse the motion to table versus the motion to postpone. Motion to postpones are debatable, motions to table are not. Table is usually tabled to later on the same agenda. We kind of use them interchangeably, and it's led to confusion before. Motion to postpone would usually be to a future date, and you specify the date that you're postponing it to.
Alderman Stowe? Okay. The motion on the floor then to postpone the appointment, the process, the vote, I guess, tonight. Okay. Of the applicant. All those in favor?
There's no second yet.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in, is there any, this is motion to postpone, not a
Correct.
motion to table. Any discussion?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a question. This is being brought up on the basis of this being a Republican. In my case, I'd be opposite. If I were to stand down, would you still appoint somebody, or would it be up to the Boone County Democratic Committee to appoint somebody for me?
I can answer that, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Unlike county boards, a vacancy in the office of alderperson is appointed by the mayor regardless of party affiliation. It does not matter one iota. The mayor could appoint a Democrat, a Republican, a independent, somebody of the Green Party. It could literally be anybody, as long as they qualify as an elector in that ward, which is why you don't see recommendations coming from your Republican committee chair or your Democratic committee chair, what have you. It's simply an appointment by the mayor with advice and consent of the city council, regardless of party affiliation.
Okay, so as I understand it, anybody, if I were to step down, anybody could sit in my position regardless of party standings. Okay, thank you. That was my question. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think also, it's important to note that obviously, you ran under a certain party, Since it's my appointment, I would look for an individual that was from the same party. And even though, as the city attorney said, I wouldn't have to, I think that would be the right thing to do with anybody who serves here on the council as well. But I also would ask the council, you know, to hear if there's any questions regarding this appointment, that what you see on the information, the memo that I provided you, and then the letter of intent. Mrs. Gramkowski is here, Sandra's here this evening, and I would ask that she either, if you have any questions, if there's something that you have a question about her or about her qualifications, I would certainly like to have her answer that. I think that would be fair. She's come down here this evening. Is there any objection to that? Okay. Alderman Snow?
And I guess part of my thing would be that, we'll call it traditionally, if a Republican seat was available, then a Republican. I do know Ms. Prather, if I recall correctly, had an opponent in the primary that she ran against. And I don't recall if there was a Democrat or independent that ran against her or not, but I'm pretty sure there was a Republican, and I think that anybody who ran for the office would be first on the list of potential bidders for filling that seat, since they showed the interest in the first place a little over 2 years ago to run for the position.
Well, as you said, that's been 2 years ago, but also that individual was defeated. Keep that in mind. They passed on that individual. I don't know if that individual is here, but besides the point, excuse me?
He's in the state of Wyoming.
So he's no longer here. But besides the point, it would be an appointment that I would ask the council to consider, not based upon anything other than the fact that they're qualified. You have their letter, and you have that in front of you. And if there's any questions for Ms. Gramkowski, certainly like to field them. Alderman Fleury?
Thank you, Mayor. So, being part of this process before I won election, I was appointed to Fourth Ward Alderman. So I know that, you know, when I was appointed at that first meeting, you know, I did have a letter of interest. I submitted my resume. I also gave a speech to the council, and, you know, the council still chose to, well, they said table at the time, but if we'll use it interchangeably, postpone my appointment. After that postponement, I took the initiative to call each of the aldermen and talk to everybody to see what some of their concerns might be. So, you know, I'm glad that she's here tonight, that we can have some questions. I can't think of any right now, but I don't think that it's unheard of to postpone it for just 2 weeks in order to reach out, as this is the first time seeing it. I think that gives us some time for some due diligence to discuss that. Again, a letter of interest does look impressive. I appreciate the previous government work, but, you know, off the top of my head, I can't think of any other questions going forward, but I don't think it's unheard of to postpone for just 2 weeks. For mine, it was a little over a month before the process completed. So hopefully we can do it quicker than that, but that's just from my own personal experience.
And I might remind the council that this is just a motion to send it for another week to the council of the whole. So, you know, you would have another week as well. And so you're asking for another week beyond that. Like I said, I don't know. I think this individual is extremely qualified. I'd hate to, you know, hate to pass on anybody that's as qualified, including you when you put your name in. And unless there's some sort of a reason other than that. But there is a motion. We have a motion and a second on the floor. And the motion is to postpone. Is there any other discussion? Alderman Freeman, do you have any?
I was just going to kind of reiterate what Alderman Fleury touched on. I think that there was another appointment that Mayor Chamberlain had, and I believe we had 3 candidates to look at. They all came to council. They all gave a speech. We got to meet them. We got to ask them questions. We got to talk to them. Ultimately, his first choice was denied, and then his second choice was confirmed. Likewise, when Alderman Fleury showed interest, he did reach out and call each of us individually, and I spoke to him extensively, as I think did the other aldermen, and got to ask questions, I guess, out of the public eye that we may have had concerns about. And I mean, this person hasn't introduced herself. She hasn't reached out to anybody. I do have some concerns or things I would like to talk to her about before voting on a confirmation. And I don't know how much other interest was showed in this position. Was she the only one that came forward with a letter of intent? I mean, I would be inclined to support postponing.
Okay. Any other comments? Alderman Albertini?
Okay, I have a question. If we do, after today, postpone this for a week and we have questions, how would we direct them to her? Would it be through your office, or would we have a contact to contact her then?
I think you would have, yeah.
Okay, because, I mean, right now, I'm kind of stumped for answers and questions, but what if something pops up in this brief week we have? I'd like to know how, so I could get contact with her directly and ask whatever questions.
Mm-hmm. You could, Mrs. Grankowski, would you mind coming up here? Do you object? I'd mentioned that, sure, come on up and introduce yourself. First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time and writing what I think is a wonderful assessment of what you, how long you've been in the community, your experience, and essentially your interest in a position here for Alderwoman Ward 3. You're replacing an alderwoman in Cheryl Prather as well. Cheryl was a Republican, and I was very impressed with your letter, and if there's any comments or any questions, any comments you would like to make, and any questions that the council, the committee would like to ask you, would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
As stated, my name is Sandy Gromkowski. I've lived here for going on 20 years. I'm really involved, or really want to get involved in my community, because we're not going anywhere. I've got the time. I've got the desire. I mean, I love Belvedere. I think we've got a lot of neat things going on, and we can do better, I think. And I think we've done great since we've been here for 20 years. I was made aware of the vacancy because I do the YouTube videos of the city council meetings, because I do have a horse, so that does take up some of my nighttime. When I found out that there was a vacancy in the 3rd Ward, I decided to reach out to Mayor Morris. So I apologize for being ignorant as to what the process may be. This is my first time. So it's great to finally see all of you. And I'm happy to answer any questions that I can, or get back to you if I need to do more research, whatever you might have.
Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. I do have multiple questions for you, but I'd like to talk to you personally about those, so if you could give me a call. The question I do have right now is, we have 2 aldermen in each ward. The other 3rd Ward alderman was just elected in April of this year. She ran unopposed. Is there a reason why you didn't throw your hat in the race then?
I really didn't give it that much consideration until just lately, only because I was homeschooling my grandson. I just didn't know what else I would have on my plate. I'm not doing that anymore. So, and quite honestly, it's ignorance on my part because I don't know how to run for office. So I didn't know what was all involved, and I figured this might be a good way to step into that. And if I could get your phone number, I'm happy to talk to you.
Alderman Albertini?
I understand your problems with being first time. This is my first time running for office. This is my first time being an alderman. I understand the stigma of being lost in the process. You did say that you watched this hearings on YouTube.
Mhm.
And did you watch Prather when she made decisions that the council would bring to her?
I did.
How do you feel that she did with her decisions?
There's not one in particular that I can say that I disagreed with. But again, because I wasn't intimately involved in the decision-making, there's not one I could point to that I vehemently opposed.
Okay, I do understand your nervousness. I just, like I said, went through this. It took me quite a bit of help from this committee. If you decide to go forward, I'd say, please ask for help from these people. They are wonderful. They help you tremendously, the mayor, the city clerk, the attorney. Make sure you ask. Don't just try to figure it out on your own. You'll never do it. They are helpful. Please ask them if you make it forward.
If I do go forward, you'll probably get sick of me. I ask a lot of questions. I do a lot of research.
Well, that's
I
good.
try.
I've been known now to be asking a lot of questions myself, being new. But it's only because I'm new, and it's eventually, hopefully, I'll just flow like the rest of these people here. They got the gist of it and how it works, and I think if you get on the board, you would do the same thing. It's just a matter of time, but I do appreciate you taking the time to come forward.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate your offer to reach out.
Okay,
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Gramkowski? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sandy. And like I said, these positions that we have in our community, I think it's important that we remember that, whenever people come forward and they have the best interest of the community at heart, they have been in the community for a long time. They have the intellect, they have the background. In this case, I think it's an outstanding resume, not only with the education, with the background, but also the fact that they've raised a family here in this community, just like all the rest of us have. Sandy and her husband have raised a family here, and it's hard to find individuals that are committed to the community. And I think, to me, I think she would be a wonderful appointment. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
And is there a way to get phone numbers?
Mhm.
Okay,
I
thank you.
will. Mhm. All right. So we have a motion to postpone and a second, I believe. We have that on the floor. Okay. All right. Those in favor of postponing will answer aye. Any opposed, nay, as the clerk calls a roll, please.
Albertini,
Aye.
Brereton,
No.
Flurry,
Aye.
Frank,
Nay.
Freeman. McGee,
Nay.
Mulhall,
Aye.
Porter,
No,
Snow,
Aye.
4 in favor. I'm sorry, 5 in favor.
Okay. All right. This will be back. Just come back.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, what will happen, because same people, but not the corporate authorities or same committee, it will appear next Monday night as a special message from the mayor making that appointment. it'll also appear, I believe you said, to the next committee meeting. And that one for further consideration.
Okay. And in the meantime, I will give the, I will, if it's okay with Sandy, I will give her all of your phone numbers, and she can call you, and I would appreciate it if you would get back to her and ask any questions you may. That would be great. Fair enough? Okay. All right, thank you. We have item B, C, and D. We have appointment of Angie Williams to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustee in your packet as well. There is no cover letter other than the appointment that's on the agenda here. Ms. Williams and Mr. Prado and Ms. Tillema all had letters in front of you, applications. We'll start with item B, that being an appointment of Angie Williams to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees. Could I get a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Snow. Could I have a second? Second by Alderman Albertini. Any questions, any comments regarding that? And they're not here this evening, but if anybody has any questions. President, yeah, Ms. Brooks is here. Okay. Here, Alderwoman Frank.
Are we voting on these as one? The two
No, we're
as
going to
one?
go through each one of them. First would be the item B, the appointment of Angie Williams to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees. That one specifically, and you have a resume in your packet as well. So we have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Any questions regarding that? Any comments? Okay. Hearing none. Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you, Mayor. So these are, all three of these candidates have already been unanimously approved by the Library Board of Trustees. So basically, these are just procedural votes. Thank you.
Anybody can ask any questions? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the appointment of Angie Williams to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. And item C, thank you. Item C, appointment of Derek Prado to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees. Could I have motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderwoman Mulhall, second by Alderman Albertini. Any questions, any comments regarding that resume that you have in front of you here this evening? Okay. All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to appoint Derek Prado to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees, please say aye.
Aye.
If there's any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. And we have item D, reappointment of Jenny Tillema to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees. Ms. Tillema had originally put her name in, and then that term was going to expire again at the end of June. So this would be a reappointment to a new term. I did speak with, I do know Ms. Tillema, and I did speak with her. And so with that being said, could I get a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman McGee, a second by Alderman Albertini. Any questions regarding the reappointment of Jenny Tillema to the Ida Public Library Board of Trustees? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. And item E, block party request at 1102 Julian. In your packet, there's a block party request at 1102 Julian for August 12th, 2023, from 2 to 10 p.m. Streets to be blocked, Andrews, from Julian Street to Beacon on Julian Street. So could I get a motion to that effect, please? Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderman Albertini. All right, any questions regarding the block party request? Alderman Albertini?
I was reviewing these and I realized that they say that there's no alcohol to be permitted. Now, I don't remember ever being to a block party and not seeing alcohol. Is there the police who go by and enforce this, or is this something that we just overlook?
No, we specifically don't allow alcohol on right of way on the street. In other words, you're not supposed to be walking up and down the street with your booze in your hand, because we don't want to bear that liability. I don't believe the police department's in the habit of going out there and routinely checking for that, but
No, unless we get a call out to one of these block parties for an unrelated incident, that's not something we're going to confirm or substantiate on behalf of the city.
So it's something we just go, okay, we didn't see that. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Well, you know, most of the people, I think that, you know, have a block party, they don't, I don't think they do leave their property with alcohol beverages. I don't think it's been a problem that I know of. I haven't been made aware of that anyhow. I don't know, you know, if you're talking about people walking down the street or walking up and down the sidewalk or what have you, I think for the most part, until we know otherwise, until we hear otherwise, I think that's probably a complaint-driven basis, along with noise, along with any other complaints that people may hear. I just don't see it as something that historically we've had a problem with, at least my experience.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Alderman Snow?
And if I might, I believe a lot of times you will have intoxicated people walking in the right-of-way, but you can do that regardless. It's the open container that poses the issue, and that's what we're trying to make sure they know. They can't have the keg sitting in the middle of the street serving.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Okay, we have a motion then on the floor to approve the block party request at 1102 Julian Street. That is for August 12th, 2023, from 2 to 10 p.m. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passed, thank you. And we have item F, Police Department should be back in an ordinance form authorizing the disposition of lost or abandoned stolen property, in this case, bicycles. Chief Woody had put a memo in your packet. That memo asks for a motion forward an ordinance to the council authorizing the disposition of lost, abandoned, or stolen property pursuant to 765 ILCS 1030/3 bicycles to the city council. And that would come back if you approve that this evening. But there's a list the chief has provided of many bicycles on here. It looks like quite a few. So I don't know where you've been hiding them all, chief, but it's quite a few. So with that being said, could I have a motion to that effect? Motion by Alderman Snow, second by Alderman Fleury. 78 bicycles, it appears. Any question? Alderman Snow?
So generically speaking, I see the list of the bicycles, and then later there's a reiteration of the list with a case number. I assume the case number is assigned because you wind up with the bicycle typically abandoned on the side of the road and nobody claims it. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, anytime one of those bicycles is turned over to the police department, it generates a police report, and a case number is assigned to go with it. That way, if we have to cross-reference it later on to try and locate the bike, we can do it by case number, plus it's associated with it on the bike in the storage facility.
Continue.
And so do we get a lot of people who actually turn in the fact that their bikes are stolen, or is it by and large, people who left them unlocked and go, well, somebody stole it, no sense in calling the police, or what? You get a general feel. I realize you may not know everything on that, but.
Right. No, we do have people that report their bikes as stolen. How many don't report them? Yeah, I can't quantify that, obviously, but, you know, it's one of those things that we try and connect the stolen bicycle with the, you know, owner that may have lost it whenever we can.
Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. So, Chief, Section 2 is to donate to Empower Boone or other such charitable organization or to sell the bicycles. They have to be valued at less than $100 to donate, correct?
That's correct.
So, are all these getting donated to Empower Boone?
That's the intent, yes.
Okay, so is there a reason we waited till we accumulated 78 bikes over so many years before we decided to donate?
Specifically, no specific reason. We had the space is becoming a premium. So this is one of the ways that we're trying to create additional space for other items that we need to store.
Alderman Snow?
My understanding was a number of years ago, one of the bike shops in town would refurbish them and give them to charity events for, lack of a term, Christmas time to give toys away. But that shop has since gone out, so that option isn't available. Is that a fair assumption why you might have more of accumulation as well?
Well, it was Belugi's at the time, used to do that for us, used to fix them up. And then there was a point in time where the police department would advertise it and then try to auction them off ourselves. But my understanding was that that whole process ended up costing the city money. So we thought it would be beneficial to find an organization that can take the initiative to fix them up. There are so many bikes in so many different states of disrepair that it would just be a logistical nightmare to try and do that ourselves, and then allow them to find the families and ultimately give those bikes away.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor then. Any other questions? All right, Chief, are these, some of these bikes down at Leith, or no?
They all are.
They all are. Okay, thank you. I guess that's the answer. All right, hearing no other questions, all those in favor of the motion on the floor then, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. All right, motion passed. That's all we have on the agenda. Could I get a motion to adjourn, please? Motion by Alderwoman Frank, second by Alderman Albertini. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, for the record, we adjourned at 7:13 PM. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.